Okay. And this is just a basic agenda. We're just going to talk a little bit about what Power BI is, and then we're going to spend some time within the system, and I'm going to show you how you would do some basic visualizations. This is very introductory, but the basics really will help set a good foundation for later on. So this is the official Microsoft definition of Power BI. It is a very powerful analytics tool that helps you combine a bunch of different data, get it into one report or one dashboard. You can embed it in apps, on the web. It just really is Microsoft's way of trying to bring all your data together in one place and really bring it to life for you. Some of the benefits of Power BI when I like to talk about the system all in one place. That's the number one thing I hear from company executives or even people working with the data on a day-to-day basis. You want to be able to access all your data in one place, or you want to be able to see overall how your organization or company is doing in one place without having to log into one system over here, one system over there. And Power BI allows you to connect to all those different systems and then see it on one report or one dashboard. It's very easy to use. When initially getting set up, especially because I know a lot of you are going to be GP users, there can be a little bit more confusion on the initial setup, getting the connections going. But once you have your data connected and you're set up, Power BI feels very similar to Excel or other Microsoft tools, and even your end users will be able to create charts, visualizations, dashboards that they want to see. So really, once you get your data set, it is a very easy application to use. Interactive. So if you're using the Power BI Pro version, you can create dashboards that are very interactive. You can ask questions of the system and it will anticipate what you're looking for and help you create charts and graphs to answer the question. So it is very interactive. You can get back to the individual data records that are feeding the chart. It just really, it's trying to be as smart as possible for you. Real-time data. If you're using the Power BI Pro version, you do have the ability to refresh your data automatically throughout the day so that the system can be going in and retrieving the most current data from your sources, whether that's GP or CRM, or if you're using SQL servers or Azure or anything else that you've connected to. With that Pro license, you can go in and have the system automatically refresh the data so it is real time when you're looking at it. Collaboration. Within the Power BI system, you can turn on comments and you can have conversations about the data you're seeing within Power BI. This can eliminate the need for emails back and forth. It just really allows that to be that all in one system, and you can collaborate with teammates and peers on the data for the reports and dashboards. So I put in here getting started. I know some of you may already have Power BI. Some of you may not. The first thing I always recommend, the desktop version is free, and you can go to powerbi.microsoft.com and you can get the desktop version, download that for free. You can connect to your data and create reports all within the desktop version, and that can help get you familiar with the system. Then beyond that, you're going to want to decide if you want to use Power BI Pro. If you're going to share your reports with other people within your organization or outside your organization, or you want to look at creating dashboards where you get that more interactive element, or if you want to automatically refresh your data, you will need Power BI Pro. That is where that upgrade is necessary. Once you've done that, you're going to connect to your data sources, start making your visualizations, and then you can share your reports and all the wonderful things that you have learned. So let's go ahead and take a look at Power BI itself. Now for this portion, I'm going to be showing you guys off the Power BI desktop first, and then we will go ahead and take a look at what the online version looks like. And then for this as well, we will be looking at an Excel spreadsheet for our data versus going into GP. You can still get your GP data very easily, but the tables and the charts are quite large and you have to filter it down. So for the purpose of this introductory, we're just going to look at an Excel spreadsheet. So this will look the same whether you're connecting through SQL Server or whatever. You will always have what sheets are available to you with your data source. If you select a sheet, you will get a preview over here to the right-hand side, so you can be like, yep, that's the table I'm looking for. I only have one in here, but when you're looking at CRM, GP data, a lot of times you have a lot more tables to look through. So I've verified this is the sheet I want, and I'm going to go ahead and load that. Okay, now when you're looking at the desktop here, where we have this little chart icon, this is going to be the page of our report. Right now it's blank because we haven't created anything. But let's go ahead and look at the data we just connected to. Right here is the table that we brought over from Excel. These are the different columns that I have in there. And we're going to model this data with the address first to be able to do a map visualization later on. So what we're going to do, we're going to click on this column, and we're going to go to modeling, and then data category. Go ahead and set it as this is street, so that's going to be our address. And when we do that, you will notice over here on the right-hand side, now street has this little circle by it. It's just indicating it's a location that you can now map out. So let's go ahead and do that for the city, state, and for the postal code. Okay, there we go. We've got all our locations set up. So let's go ahead back and let's start creating some different charts and things that we want to see. So when you're looking to create visualizations, you see over here on the right-hand side, these are all the different columns that we have from that table. So you really can just start pulling them out onto your white space to create your chart. So for example, I'm going to pull out salesperson and customer balance. And then these are your types of visualizations over here. So I want to see that as a column chart. And that's really how easy it is to make visualizations. So this is one type of visualization. Let's put this chart over here. Another type of visualization they have is called a card. And this really allows you to sum up if you want to see, I want to know how much we've sold year to date. Just want that number to be right there in front of your face. You can add a card. And let's pull our total sales onto that card. And this just sums it up for you. It's telling me right now, I have $3 million in total sales. For the map function, which we talked about a little bit earlier, let's show you how that can look. You select map, and then we can choose which type of location. Do we want to look at city, address, like the street address or state? I'm going to pull city over here. And what it does is it fills in dots where I have a city. And let's say I want to see that by customer balance. So I'm going to pull the customer balance over, and now we can see that some of the dots got larger or smaller. That is just dependent on the balance size. And then when you're within that visualization, you can zoom in and you can hover over that, and it'll show you the city and the total balance currently in those areas. It's just another way to visualize the data. So there we did a map. Sometimes you just want to see a table of data. So let's go ahead and pull out our account. And let's say we want to see who our top accounts are. So we're going to pull out accounts and the total sales. And then let's say we want to see who are our top accounts. Over here within the visual level filters, you can go ahead and say, I want to see my top 10 accounts and I want to look at it based on the total sales. When we apply the filter now, this table will show us just our top 10 accounts by sales. To make reports even more custom, you can add your logos and you can add titles to them. So if we're going to add a logo up on the home bar, you can add an image. You just have to have it saved somewhere on your desktop. But I saved our logo, and then I added our logo here through that. To add a report title, we can insert a text box and just put whatever you want your title to be. You can format the data. And this is where you can really make it look aesthetically pleasing or as customized as you want it to be. So now we have a title on our report. When we're looking at these columns, we can see we have information on the account, the locations, we have a commission percentage for our salespeople, and we have customer balance. But if you want to do something extra, for example, in this case, what we're going to look at is we want to know how much commission our salespeople are earning. You can also add new columns that are calculated within Power BI. So we're going to select new column here. And this is where you'll see it's very similar to Excel. There are some differences. Not all formulas that work in Excel work in Power BI. They call this is a DAX for putting in the formulas, but it is very similar to Excel. So in here, I'm going to put, there we go. Oh, you can see I already added column. I'm sorry, guys, but we're going to add it again here. So when you have the commission amount, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and say we want to take the total sales, and you just start typing in the name of the column. We've got sheet total sales, and we want to multiply that by, we'll start typing out again here, the commission percent. And it's telling me it's already there. Let's go ahead and change the name. And what it does then, Power BI will just take that formula and apply it to all your rows. So now you could see a commission total. So you're not completely held down to the columns that you're pulling in from your data source. You can bring in other things and create those formulas and filters directly within Power BI. So once we have that commission percent, let's take a look at creating another visualization. You can pull out salesperson, and we want to look at their commission amount. And let's say we just want to look at this by a line chart. And then we'll just make this a little smaller here. Anytime you're around any visualization, when you've got these bars around it, you can just move it and make it however you want it to. And so now we have a line chart showing the commission by salesperson. So far, we have a pretty good report going. It's showing us a lot of data, but sometimes you want to be able to filter your data and look at it in different ways. So Power BI does have the option of adding a slicer. It's right here with the little funnel. And you click on slicer. Say we want to look at this by, look at sales location. This could be sales territory, or if you have divisions, whatever in your organization you would want to divide the data by. In this case, we're going to use sales location. So we've added in our slicer, and now if you click on these, all of these charts are going to update, showing you data for just that location. So here we can see the total sales. It changes to what the salesmen have in that area, and then it also updates the locations here. You can see if we go to Hawaii, it'll just keep updating all those charts. When you first input a slicer, it does default to just selecting one of these, but you can also update that. When you have the slicer selected here, you can go over to the selection controls under the paintbrush, and you can have a select all option as well. This just allows that you could have all of them, or you could filter between them. Now we've added our slicer and we've got our report looking how we want it to look. What your next option would be, if you're using Power BI Pro and you want to share this with others in your organization, you would publish it to the online server. So right up here, we're going to go ahead and click Publish. It always makes you save the file itself too for your desktop. So that's just what it's notifying me of here. Okay. Within your Power BI Pro, which we'll look at in just a second, you can have different workspaces. The default is always my workspace, but if you're sharing workspaces with other members in your organization, you could choose which workspace you publish it to. And it's going to take a moment to think about that. Okay, we've published to the online version. So let's go take a look at Power BI Pro when you're on the online version. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. Now the online version looks a little bit different. If you have dashboards, you can have favorites, and your home page will show what your favorites and frequents are, along with your favorite dashboard. It will show some of the top tiles from that. It also shows your recently accessed data, reports, dashboards, and if you have any apps installed. But let's take a look specifically at the report we just created. So under My Workspace, this is where you can see you have your dashboards, your reports, workbooks, data sets that you have updated. And let's go ahead and click on this, and we can see the report that we just created. So from here, if you have Power BI Pro, and I will say that they do offer a 60-day free trial for Power BI Pro, so if you're kind of on the fence and you're not sure, download the desktop version and then sign up for your free trial. You can then upgrade and get your license after that point in time when the trial is over, and you won't lose your data. So with this, we've got our report published. We could start creating dashboards from our report. When you've got it, you just pin your visual, and let's make a new dashboard for today. And we can just start pinning anything that we have on this report. And you can select other reports as well. You don't have to have it all from one report. The only limitation you're going to have on creating a dashboard is it will not allow you to pin slicers to a dashboard. So we've got a few pinned to our dashboard here. And let's go look at that dashboard. And you can see these are the few visualizations that we pinned. And this is when you can get interactive about your data. If you get in here, you can start customers, total sales, and it'll start pulling up all your customers on a chart that meet the criteria that you've input. So this is where Power BI really does try and be smart for you. It starts to anticipate what you're looking for and create a visualization. When you've asked a question like this, you can pin your visual directly to your dashboard. And then now when we go back, we'll see that that is there as well. So it really does try and grow with you. All your end users can create their own visualizations. You could share them with each other. It really just is trying to do that analytics piece much more quickly. That's really the overview I have for the intro to Power BI. One thing that I did want to cover when we look at this, advanced steps. So advanced steps to enhance Power BI, and this would just be too much to dive into in a short webinar like this. You do have that ability to schedule the automatic data refreshes like we talked about. The advanced query editing, when you're looking at your GP tables, they can be kind of confusing and they can pull a lot of columns in, but you can filter, if you're looking for certain criteria like dates or values, you can do that filtering within the query editor. You can remove columns to make the data set smaller to pull in. You can create new columns, create relationships between multiple tables. You can do a lot in the advanced query editing, and that allows you to really pull in the multiple sources of data, get them all to relate to each other, and then put it all onto one report. And then the comments and collaboration piece, that's advanced as well too. You turn it on in the Power BI Pro, and then you can start working with that. You can share your dashboards and your reports, and then you can also view usage and things like that. So there is a lot more to Power BI, but that would require just some advanced training. It just takes a little bit more time to get into. And I'm only slated to take half an hour of your guys' time today, so I don't want to take any more than that. With that, let me go ahead and unmute everyone. Is there any questions that you guys have? Okay, well, I'm going to assume you guys have a lot of data to digest and take a look at. If you do have any questions, certainly reach out to me and we can take a look at your individual reports and things that you would need. Well, I thank everyone for attending and have a great rest of your afternoon.